Hello, dear friends. Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. It's about 0 degrees. We have just a light snow coming down today. So it's a little chilly out. Just wanted to do part two, doing a review of this excellent historical narrative called The People's Emergency Act, Freedom Convoy 2022 by Tom Marazzo. It's covering in detail all the events about the peaceful protests that occurred in early 2022, end of January and February, and February of 2022. So today I'm just going to cover from page 69, chapter 3, up until chapter 11, page 173, and we're making good headway here. I'm just going to quickly go through it and pull out a few points that may have jumped out at me to share with you. If you're interested in this history that occurred in Ottawa, it's an excellent reference because it does go into quite specific detail. I do have to admit that it does get quite bogged down into the logistics and the different groups involved and the frustration involved and the different police groups. You have the Ottawa Police, the Parliament Police, the RCMP and the OPP and all these different groups. And then you have the truckers from this place and that place and all over the place, and he's trying to put it together. Tom Marazzo arrives there, and he's trying to take a leadership role. Although he's a very humble guy, he doesn't want to take over the whole thing, but he kind of gets thrust into this maelstrom of chaos. And because he has training in military strategy and allocation of resources and so on and so forth, he wants to try and make sense of it as best as he can. And so it is a bit of a frustrating read because you can get a sense of helplessness at times when you're dealing with so much chaos. Page 89, a sentence, he says, "I knew MSM lied as easily as I inhaled a breath of air, so they couldn't be trusted." I like that sentence that he used there. I made a footnote on that. Chapter 5, Chaos, Egos, and Icons, and all the different players that are involved. Chapter 6, My Replacement. He's staying at the Arc hotel in Ottawa, and he says that he meets with Tamara Lynch, and he says he's thankful that it's not him that was the tip of the spear, so to speak. Tamara Lynch became this lightning rod of attention, and he kind of was glad it wasn't him. On page 100, he said, "When the history book is written about the convoy, I'm perfectly okay if my name never appears in it," which is kind of funny because he's got more detail probably than any other person on the Freedom Convoy. And he goes by on a date-by-date basis, February 3rd, 2022. And it was funny, on page 103, he talks about this a bit of a chaotic event that happens with Jim Torma and the shouting match with the media people at the Marriott. Well, I was there at the time, and so I'm sure on one of my hard drives I've got a video of that chaos that broke out, and so that made me smile to see that mentioned. So yeah, he was at a different hotel. Me and a friend would go down to the Marriott and hang out with some people that he knew there, and then I was able to meet. But we weren't staying there overnight. We had our own separate place in a different part of Ottawa, probably closer to Canada, I believe. So he talks about all the planning that he had to do, and he talks about meeting Randy Hillier and strategizing with him. And he talks about all the different people that he meets. He meets Pat King and these different truckers. Chapter 7, Rhetoric and No Tangible Results. He's very, very detailed and very methodical in going through. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I have a bad habit of looking down at my notes. But and I know that he met some people that came to visit him that were like, apparently spiritual people and kind of like religious people, and he kind of maybe wasn't sure. He thought they might have been just inconsequential or maybe a bit out to lunch, and perhaps that's true, but I would have liked to have heard more details about those people that arrived with that kind of motivation behind them. But it was just mentioned briefly, so we didn't get too much detail on that. But otherwise, it just talks about him going back and forth with the different police services and the person they had put as a liaison. His name, Lee, last name, Stephen Lee, I think, and you know, they might say one thing and then they're not being straightforward, or they're not speaking in good faith, and you know, that adding to the chaos made it even more difficult for him. So I can't help but feel bad for the difficulty that he had to go through dealing with that situation, dealing with all the different people, dealing with all the different instructions, often conflicting, and so on and so forth. So anyway, we made good progress. We're on chapter 11, which is called The Veterans at the National War Memorial. We should be able to finish this shortly, in a day or two, and I'll give you a final synopsis. I should be able to finish the review with one additional video. So there you go. What a chaotic event. It's funny because he went there very, I should say, focused, sober-minded, diligent, and when I went there, I felt like I was going to Woodstock. You know, I was going to this festival, and I remember meeting people out with the fire in the cans on the sidewalks, and I just thought it was such a hoot. And I feel a little guilty seeing his in-depth analysis and realizing that while I was there, I was just enjoying the atmosphere, the people standing up for freedom and coming together in camaraderie. And it was such a heartwarming event for me, even though it was freezing cold. So yeah, it really opened my eyes to how important it was and how serious it was. And I probably should have been a lot more serious while I was there. But in any event, it brings back some good memories. And if you are into detailed Canadian history, and if you were there, I highly recommend getting this book. And even if you are not, or you're just curious about what happened and how those things could transpire, this is excellent, very easily readable, and it's got no esoteric fluff or any of that. It is very factual and to the point, detailing all the different players and from his perspective. So yeah, thank you a lot for watching. God bless you. I hope you're doing well, and we shall talk to you very, very soon in the next video. Take care of yourself. Hope you have a great day. Make sure you get a chance to spend time with people you love. Bye for now.